I would say that what is going to be very key for uh, as part of strategy is that we will have to build sustainable organizations. And that is, in fact, absolutely the overriding theme today, particularly when we look at the impact of climate change on the planet Earth itself. So I would say sustainability becomes very key. We talked about purpose, we talked about ethics and values. Uh, these are things which are being valued more and more by consumers around the world, irrespective of the products that they consume. I think these values in an organization is becoming very important. Um, Financial institutions and other financial stakeholders, including your shareholders, are putting a lot on store by how each organization is building itself into a sustainable corporate. And that becomes very, very crucial. I'm sure that apart from carbon taxes, which is on the tariff side, the availability of soft loans, etc., from financial institutions will become completely tied up to the sustainable footprint that the organization is planning and building over time. And last but not the least, what at least the COVID has taught us is that, like Bhaskar said, technology has the shelf life of a banana. And I think what we are seeing today is like what we said, you got to keep your lookout, you got to learn to adapt, you need to build agile and very adaptive organizations and ensure that new skills, that means the learning and development aspect of the organization in terms of building new skills, particularly in the area of digitization, because that's the way the whole world is moving now, becomes very, very essential as part of strategy. So, I mean, that's really my quick take on what more needs to be done.
I will just add to what Thomas was mentioning. I think it's very important that when you are doing the strategy, it's scanning the market all points in time. I think is extremely critical. And if you had started scanning the market, for example, if you take apparel market, you will realize that for example, sustainability is going to become a huge consumer take. So what I think is important is how we are going to sort of scan the market and take these trends and build into your brand strategy is extremely important, because these are not something which you do it because it's we have to go for an ESG acceptance, but how do you sort of weave it to actually convert these themes so that it is also profitable to the company. It also enhances the sales of the brand and also improve the profits of the brand. I think the very good example of how a company made sustainable living as part of the core of the company purpose, and then actually draw the profitability and the growth of the company is actually the Unilever's sustainable living, which actually the earlier chairman started almost 8 years back. For example, when we actually launched denim in one of our brands, US Polo, we said that we will do denim, which we called as a responsible jeans. So that right from beginning, we are able to bring in the sustainable elements into the brand strategy, so that it is not just for the ESG acceptance we do this, but also to actually make it as an integral part of the brand strategy. I think that is very, very important. It's not about just these are the themes and then I should just follow it, because if I don't do it, I'll get caught, kind of a thing.
Slightly different opinion. I don't believe ESG is a strategy. I don't believe digitization is a strategy. Those are objectives. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that we need to be very clear what is the goal, objective, and what is the strategy. So ESG, the strategy for ESG is something which people have to talk about, but companies by and large say, this is my purpose, this is my, I'm going to do ESG, and they leave it at that. strategy is going into that level of detail in terms of figuring out how you are going to do it and what are the choices you're going to make. And I'll give you the example of Microsoft when it decided that it had to really focus on ESG. It actually took a decision as to what aspects of sustainability and environment that it would focus on, identified those goals and objectives, and then put together a strategy to be able to execute on that, and then share with the shareholders their progress as they went along. So to me, I think, we need to be very clear, because this is where I find a big challenge with most of the companies I mentor or whom I'm the board of, that they're unable to differentiate between what is a goal or objective, nice to have, and what is a strategy. So, I agree with everything Suresh has said, everything with, Thomas has said, but I would just make a distinction that a lot of times they were talking about goals and objectives, while the strategy piece is how you go about doing it. So how do you build sustainability into your supply chain? So though that becomes strategy, what are the choices you have there? But sustainability by itself is an objective. It's not a strategy. That's the only point I'd like to make.
I don't have much to add, but I just want to pick up on one theme that Suresh was talking about. And that is, I don't know about the older generation, my generation, but the younger generation, people who are in their 20s and early 30s or so, they are far more concerned about the environment than some of the older people are. And that part, and that population is only going to grow. So as we move forward, slowly but surely, I think if we are not able to respond to that need to be sustainable and to be cognizant of how we are influencing the environment, I think we will lose our consumers, and then it sort of backtracks. So I just wanted to bring up this notion of, the demographics are pushing us, even if we don't want to. We should want to, but even if we don't want to, the consumer is going to drive us, if not today, definitely tomorrow.